Hello, Professor. This is Nathaniel Guzman, Nicolas Gautir, and Lance Hondrade. I'm going to proceed with our presentation of the Smart Pill Bottle for the midterm review report number 2.
A feasibility analysis is a thorough examination on all of the aspects that can help determine the likelihood of a product's success. It can also help a team figure out any potential risks and benefits prior to executing a plan. There are several types of feasibility analyses. Technical feasibility determines if the technology needed to create the product is attainable and efficient. Resource feasibility determines if a group has the necessary equipment for development and production. Economic feasibility determines if a product is economically viable. Schedule feasibility determines if a group can manage time in an efficient manner and meet required deadlines. Cultural feasibility determines how the product may be perceived by other countries and different cultures. Legal feasibility determines the legal and ethical implications of the product, specifically factors such as proper distribution, safety, and reliable usage. Marketing feasibility determines how the general public will view the product and overall marketability.
Okay, hello, Professor. This is Nathaniel Guzman. I'm going to give a brief presentation about the ethical considerations we took into account for our project. I want to first start that we're going to follow and adhere to the IE Code of Ethics, and I we strongly believe that the potential benefits of our project will heavily outweigh the possible ethical considerations that may be involved. In our case, the one that we have to focus the most and the one that we have definitely decided to analyze in the report as our ethical scenario is about the handling of the data that will be associated with this device. In our case, we also made a commitment to adhere to the laws and regulations that govern the data that we're collecting. In our case, will be HIPAA and other respective laws and regulations in the case of the United States. For our ethical scenario, we decided on this specific theory or a hypothetical scenario. Suppose a scenario in which the smart pillbox is tracking the dosage of an antidepressant that is given to a patient. The tracking information is stored in the servers of the hospital. A week later, they get hit with ransomware, and a ransomware attack, and third parties steal the data from the hospital and release them to the world. The patient realizes that this happened and his drug use data is on the web for everyone to see. This will cause severe damage to the life of the patient. So this is one of the worst case scenario in which basically the name of the patient is associated to a drug. So the whole world will know that he is taking antidepressants. That could have several impacts on his life, with their relationships, personal life. So we want to try to avoid that scenario. So we have a few options to deal with this. So we can just notify the patient without a breach and do nothing. It's kind of like our more or more not do nothing approach to say it in a way. We also have to hash the name of the drug, not the name of the patient. So basically, it will be associated with a number or a hash. But the data will still show that the patient was taking some sort of drug that was controlled. Another option, hash the name of the drug and patient personal details, like their name, date of birth, weight. The other option is let the hospital or a third party handle the data regarding the identification of the patient. What we mean by this is basically we just provide the hardware and they have the IT infrastructure to handle what is anonymization of the data. We just basically will have to worry about sending the data securely to the cloud server or the MQTT server. Another option that we have is simply not collect information or any information that identifies the patient directly. We just basically send this serial number of this pill box or pill bottle is taking this amount of pills without actually notifying who is doing it. We just basically, if somebody will overdose, we will simply know that it was this specific pill bottle. We wouldn't know who. So based on that scenario, on those solutions, we rated the solutions based on the ethical theories. So let's start with number one. Obviously, this is the most completely against the moral rights, justice view, or utilitarianism, because basically we are going completely against the moral rights of the person, of the patient in this case. There's simply no right way of doing this. If we do that, that will be the completely wrong choice. So we score it as a 1 in individualism, basically because we're doing to our benefit. Basically, yeah, it benefit us just to notify the patient and that's it. Basically, we don't have to do anything, but it will completely harm the patient. On the second option, which is we hash the name of the drug. So in here we're kind of covering ourselves and the patient, but not all the way. So yeah, it's actually pretty easy to do a hash, and it's kind of moral, but it's not all the way. And the data of the patient will still expose, data that can identify him. So it's a bit better, but it's not all the way better. The option that scored the most was the hash the name of the drug and hash the patient personal details. Basically, we won't store any personal details related to the patient. We will just have a hash, basically like the same way Passport Manager stores passwords. And maybe then a third party can actually de-anonymize the data if needed. If, for example, the hospital wants to correlate that, but again, that will be on the third party. That won't be on us, because our intention is not basically expose the patient with the data. Our intention is to protect the patient's data at all costs. Of course, based on our interviews that we did for the previous presentation, the previous step, some of our population, specifically nurses, did say that they wanted some way of identifying the patient. So we still will have to provide that step, but what will be stored on our database will definitely be hashed. It cannot be plain text names and plain text data. It will have to definitely be hashed. So in that way, if the database gets exposed, or anytime ransomware attack happens, we're not violating anyone's rights, we're not violating anybody's privacy. In our case, the solution is pretty easy to implement. Several of these cloud providers or MQTT providers that we're gonna use, they already provide this feature, so it's not something that's gonna cost us a lot of development time in implementing. This is the most morally right choice, and we're actually also protecting ourselves and the patient. Specifically, we're making sure that it's as anonymous as possible, that this patient is taking the drug. We have the other option, which is let the hospital handle the data, or in this case, most of the hospitals have a medical IT system, like Epic is an example, and let them handle the data anonymization part, which is basically we'll have to send the secure packages to the server. This, the main thing about this is that again we're still taking a step back from the responsibility of protecting the patient, because basically here we don't know how the other companies want to act, so that's why it's scored a bit lower compared to the other ones. The other one is the last options: do not collect patient information, which have the data in clear text. So basically, we won't collect names, age, weight. Just we're saying this serial number of the pillbox is collecting, is taking this amount of pills at this time. Is one of the best choices, but the main issue is that doctors and nurses still need to identify the patient in some way. So there still has to be a way so they can actually verify the identity of this person. If we do that, basically we are doing the step, and we're just basically not listening to the population that actually answer the questions on or the survey. Social impact. So in our case, our project will definitely have a big social impact, in the sense that 92,000 people, according to the National uh, Drug Abuse Institute, 92,000 people die from drug overdose. Of those 92,000 people, actually about 5 to 7% are intentional. So they can say about 5 to 7% are actually suicides. But still, that's more to our point, because again, this other percentage of people actually didn't know that they took one extra pill, or that the example they already have taken a pill on the morning and they took another one in the afternoon, and that stuff like that happens. That, how many times we ourselves forget about that with drugs that don't really matter, but in this case some of those do, and that's actually the main population that we want to help. Also, we have the other intentional drug overdoses, which will also help. For the way that helps is in the case of a drug overdose that's severe. We want to prevent the type of death, but by increasing the response time, decreasing the response time of the emergency personnel. That way, they take less to get to the patient, or we can actually uh, take some actions in order to try to prevent this death. Of course, there are cases where this is impossible, but just having the knowledge that somebody overdose, maybe if we can get to him instead of 30 minutes, we can get to him in 5 minutes. We can really try to save his lives. We're gonna have also real-time drug consumption data of the patient. This will help doctors and other medical industries and facilities with certain type of studies, and it will help doctors and nurses to optimize the treatment and see exactly what's happening with the patient regarding the treatment, how they're taking it. And this will actually also determine addiction patterns and drug misuse, which is, between that and preventing deaths, is the biggest social impact that a project is going to have. Thank you so much. Hello, Professor. This is Nathaniel Guzman again. I'm going to talk a little bit about the globalization concerns and standards regarding our device. In our case, because of the fact that we're dealing with drugs specifically, we need to adhere to the specific laws in which the device will be used. In this case, the main use case that we are aiming at is in the United States. If the project were able to go abroad, in this case, it will be a fact of actually not doing the whole pill bottle, but just giving the tracking device, because the tracking device is not regulated by the laws. What is regulated by the laws is the pill bottle container, the pill bottle shape, size, and those type of specifications, and the data that comes out of the device specifically. That will be the way that we can globalize our design. Regardless, our main focus is to provide the use case for the United States. In our case, the standards for our device, most of them, they're clearly established in the Code of Federal Regulations, specifically upon titles 200 to 299. And also, each state will have their own laws and regulations regarding the prescription drug distribution. Federally, we have the FDA, and specifically on a specific title that will regulate our project very heavily is the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 21, Item 211.84. In this case, testing and approval of reduction of components, drug production, containers, and closures. Over there are the guidelines for testing devices like ours specifically.
Hey, my name is Nicholas Cartier, and I will be explaining the following sections of our presentation for our project. First, health and safety, and then sustainability. Health and safety represent fundamental pillars in the development of any product, particularly one destined for widespread use by potentially hundreds and thousands of users. The sheer scale of potential impact underscores the criticality of these aspects. Moreover, given that our product is a healthcare device directly impacting users' well-beings, the stakes are even higher. Recognizing this, our team has placed health and safety at the forefront of our priorities. We understand that the ramifications of overlooking these aspects could be dire, not just for our users, but for our reputation and integrity as well. In response, our team has implemented a comprehensive strategy to ensure health and safety across all facets of our project. This encompasses safeguarding the workplace environment to mitigate risks, promoting a culture of safety and accountability within our team, and meticulously addressing the safety considerations inherent to our product's usage by end users. Through these measures, we are committed to upholding the highest standards of health and safety, safeguarding not only the physical well being of our users, but also their trust and confidence in our product and brand. A safe work environment that is used when assembling such devices is extremely important. By following strict rules laid out by our team, the workplace should be able to avoid injury and successfully put together these devices. A safe environment that prioritizes and correctly follows the rules and regulations that do not compromise the safety of the workplace is essential. Most of these rules and regulations are set by several regulatory bodies such as ISO. Having these rules followed allow for risk to be mitigated and safety to be a priority. The safety of the team as the prototypes and components are handled and assembled are a vital part of the health and safety of this project. As our team has begun to assemble prototypes and test the features of this device, the team has followed simple safety guidelines for handling the construction of the devices with an open circuit. The team knows the inherent danger of working with circuits and batteries, and as such, follows simple safety when handling the components. As this product is a healthcare device, its usage and features are extremely important to its health and safety. The device needs to not only be extremely accurate without fault, but also needs to be free of any glitches and bugs. The device should also be durable, secure, easy to use, and easy to set up. Most importantly, our team ensures that the inert safety of the device will be extremely important. The envisioned final product is inherently safe because it is not meant for deconstruction by the end user, which in turn means the only foreseeable danger lies within the misuse of the device. The misuse of the device is also alternatively difficult as it primarily exists to solve the inherent issue with normal prescription medical bottles, leaving the doses and uses to the user. The significance of prioritizing health and safety in product development cannot be overstated. It transcends mere quality assurance. It can often delineate between a product's success and failure, between its reputation as a reliable solution or a hazard to avoid. In essence, it can mean the difference between a good product and a bad one, or even more critically, between a safe product and a dangerous one. When we consider workplace safety standards in the consideration of a product, we're not just ticking boxes on a regulatory checklist. We're actively safeguarding against potential hazards that can result in severe bodily harm or even fatalities. By meticulously laying out and adhering to safety protocols, we're not only protecting the well being of our workforce, but also fostering a culture of responsibility and accountability within our organization. However, perhaps even more crucial is ensuring the safety of the end user, especially when the product it directly impacts their health and well being. For a healthcare device, this imperative takes on an added significance. It's not just about meeting regulatory requirements, it's about instilling confidence in our users that they can rely on our product to enhance their health outcomes without compromising their safety. By prioritizing user safety, we're not only fulfilling our ethical duty, but also building trust and loyalty among customers. Whether it's thorough, rigorous testing, clear and comprehensive user instructions, or ongoing support and education, every effort we make to enhance our user safety contributes to the overall success and longevity of our product in the market. Ultimately, our commitment to health and safety isn't just a legal obligation, it's a reflection of our values and dedication to making a positive impact on the lives of our users. Sustainability. Sustainability is an extremely vital point of any product, especially with the current state of the world. Now, sustainability lies in numerous different aspects of a product, from the materials that it make it up to the way it's assembled. How sustainable a product is depends on the source of these materials, the way it is constructed, and then numerous other things. As the team moves through the process of creating a product, it is extremely important they understand the impact on the environment throughout the entire process. In the following section outlined will be what sustainability is and how our team has followed a conscientious path in the design process. What is sustainability? Sustainability for a product refers to the ability of that product to be manufactured, used, and disposed of in a manner that minimizes negative environmental, social, and economic impacts throughout its life cycle. This includes considerations such as reducing resource consumption, minimizing pollution, ensuring ethical labor practices, and promoting long term economic viability. The importance of sustainability for a product. Environmental conservation. Sustainable products minimize resource depletion, pollution, and habitat destruction, contributing to the preservation of ecosystems and biodiversity. Social responsibility. Sustainable products promote fair labor practices, ensuring that workers are treated ethically and work in safe conditions, thus supporting social equity and justice. Economic viability. Sustainable products often lead to cost savings through efficiency improvements, waste reduction, and increased consumer demand for environmental and socially responsible products. Brand reputation. Adopting sustainable practices enhances a company's reputation and brand image, attracting environmental and socially conscious consumers and investors. Regulatory compliance. Compliance with sustainability standards and regulation help companies avoid legal issues, fines, and reputational damage associated with noncompliance. Future proofing. Sustainable products are better positioned to adapt to changing market preferences, regulatory requirements, and resource availability, ensuring long term competitiveness and resilience. Finally, our product sustainability is directly tied to the materials it is constructed with. In that sphere, our team will utilize normal pill bottles, which are made of polypropylene and recyclable polyethylene plastic. The construction of the smart housing below the bottle will use environmentally friendly 3D printing filament that is 100% biodegradable. If the cap is altered in any way or customized, the housing for the cap will also follow suit with the bottom housing. The internal components of the bottom housing should all be, to the best extent possible, environmentally friendly components. In terms of sustainability in totality, the components in our product should minimally have a negative outlook. Overall, the sustainability of our product is a cornerstone of our product's existence and legacy on Earth. As our team continues the development of prototypes, we intend to continually understand the significance of the process of our product sustainability and be mindful of what we use and include in our product.